Big news in the race for who will become Florida's next governor. The running mate for a prominent GOP candidate is now under criminal investigation. Our Florida Capitol Bureau Chief Matt Hoffman live for us from the state capitol tonight. And Matt, what details can you share about who is being investigated and why?
Yeah, there's claims all over the place today. Now, this is a criminal investigation against Sean Lozano. He's the running mate of James Fishback. We planned to ask Fishback about that today during a press conference, but he walked away without taking questions. Instead, he threw out his own claims that are unverified against Congressman Byron Donalds. The state attorney's office in Broward County confirming Thursday that Sean Lozano is now under criminal investigation. It stems from the so-called bus terminal incident in which Lozano is accused of pushing a woman in mental distress to the ground back when he was a police officer for the Lauderhill Police Department. Internal Affairs wrote in a report that Lozano did not mention the use of force until he was confronted with a video. But rather than address a confirmed criminal investigation, Fishback threw out unverified allegations of his own. In a press conference on Thursday, he claims a, quote, government whistleblower told him that the U.S. Department of Justice is investigating his opponent, Byron Donalds.
That's why I reluctantly came here today without a campaign sign, with a clear and expressed commitment that this will not be part of campaign material, this will not be part of TV ads.
Now, Fishback left without taking questions about either the purported DOJ investigation into his opponent or about the confirmed one into his running mate. If we learn more information, of course, we'll post it online. Now, of course, this is all happening in the midst of mail-in voting already underway, in-person early voting starting on Saturday, and Election Day not far off. So a lot for voters to sort through here in these final days. For now, at the state capitol, I'm Matt Hoffman, WCTV Eyewitness News.
All right, Matt, thank you.